Just kidding. It's time for another Teddy Talks ASMR video. My name is not Peter Parker. My name is Teddy, and I'm talking in a sort of ASMR style. So tonight my setup is a little different. You're very far away. I wanted to make sure that I could get my costume on the shot. The C414 is right here. Gain is very high. And tonight's video. So, in tonight's video, besides the finger fluttering that this costume makes, you will be hearing about my Halloween costumes. So, what is the point? What's the point of tonight's video? The point of tonight's video is to look back at some of the Halloween costumes that I've worn throughout the years. So I will be pulling them up on my monitor and kind of showing you and telling you and whispering about some of the Halloween costumes I've worn throughout the years. I don't really know if Halloween is my favorite day or holiday. I think, in my opinion, Halloween is just a fun day. You know, it's kind of exempt from other holidays. It's not really religious, even though it has religious, a religious backstory, I guess, or a religious beginning. But anybody can celebrate Halloween or not celebrate it. I just think it's a fun occasion to dress up. So if you want to see what I end up doing for Halloween this year, why don't you subscribe, hit the bell, stick around, and see what I get myself into. Because trust me, there are just a few things planned for Halloween this year that I was not intending to do. So the plan for tonight was to show you the pictures in chronological order. However, I don't know if you can tell, but my gloves, they are gloves, it's a suit. I don't know if I could be a superhero in real life, even though I look like Andrew Garfield. I don't think I could really do it. I'm just an imposter. My superpower is relaxing people, maybe, and I don't even know if I'm doing that. Okay, anyway, so the goal was to show you the pictures in chronological order, meaning that everything would be in order, but the issue is I really can't do much on my computer right now on my monitor. So I am going to just start with whatever picture pops up, and we'll go through all the photos, and I hope you like it. So I'm looking at this first picture, and this picture is from my junior or senior year of college. I think that was around 2018 or 19. And I am a mummy. I'm a mummy. Not all of these pictures have a huge backstory, but you kind of live in the Halloween costume for the night. Like, you don't usually get dressed up and sit at home. There are one or two photos where I had to do that because of COVID, but normally I'm going out, somewhere. I think it's really fun and worth it when you get to show people your costume and kind of get a reaction from people you don't know, which is exactly what was happening in this moment. So my junior or senior year of college, I'm dressed as a mummy, and this was my first time really working with liquid latex. Very dangerous for a person like myself because I have a beard, I have eyebrows, I have hair everywhere, so any of that gets on my face and my sideburns and the beard on my arms or whatever. Oh, that could be kind of nice. I'm not gonna rub my arms though. latex, and I learned very quickly that you should probably put your hair away or shave it off, because I think I got some in. I didn't get some in my beard. I got some in the upper part of my hairline and the sides, and I think I just gave myself a haircut. You know, it's college, it's whatever, but yeah, you can see that the toilet paper, because I did put toilet paper on my face and paper towel, is going up into my hairline. And I remember that when I came home at the end of the night, whoosh, I ripped some hair out, which is really unfortunate, but I think you can see that I still have it, or at least it grew back. It definitely got like waxed out of my head with the liquid latex. So the reason why this photo makes me laugh is because of that. But also I went to work like that. It was Halloween night, and I guess no one else wanted to work. And I was down. It was just a weekly shift. I think this was a weekday, like a Tuesday or a Thursday. I'm trying to remember my schedule. I worked with people, younger people with special needs in college. Okay, I just had to take a break because people were being loud as in the hallway. But as I was saying, in college, I worked with people with special needs, younger people, anywhere from elementary to high school. So what makes me chuckle is I went to work dressed like that. I have like hazy contacts and I have black makeup like smeared. I was trying to look decayed, and I think I had to ask my work, and I had to ask the family that I worked for if I could dress up. If I remember, they wanted me to because they didn't want the kid I was working with to be like alone. And I went trick-or-treating looking like, I don't know where the picture's at, but looking like that, you know. I tend to go for a more horrific, scary kind of look. That's really funny to say because the next picture I'm going to show you is from when I was a kid. Again, these are not chronological, so this will be kind of jarring, which I think makes it more fun. Anyway, so as I got older myself, I tend to go for more horrific, scary. I want to be scary most of the time. So I show up to work and the family's like, whoa, like we don't even recognize you. I'm like, yeah. And I am with a 5th grader and we are trick-or-treating. The family wanted me to actually like be with the kid, and that's my job. So like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. So I remember we went up to this one house because we didn't go to a lot of houses. It was just a couple because again, we're up in like bluffs and hills that are kind of mountainous, but not really. This elderly woman with a bowl of candy passes out the candy to the kids, and she offers me one. And I say, no, like, I'm fine. I'm actually with the kids, because at this point we formed kind of a group, and we were just going from house to house to house. And I said, no, I'm fine. Like, I don't want any candy. And she says, well, if you don't take any candy, I have something else you could take. And she offers me a tract, you know, a little missionary, like a Christian missionary template, a tract, one of those little missionary, like Christian missionary pamphlets. And, you know, she says, you'll need it. And I'm like, whoa. So, I got a tract, and, yeah, I held on to that. That was really funny. I did not mean to scare anybody that bad. I really freaked her out. I freaked her out, too good, I think. Okay, so let's go on to the next costume. Okay, in this picture or video that you're seeing, I'll try to include some back and forth. I'm very young. I think I'm only maybe 5 or 6. I think this is 2001 or 2002 Halloween. So extremely funny to me that we're going from Mummy to Tigger. I am Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. And I think my mom made that costume. She used to make some of her costumes back in the day, which is very cool. I appreciate the DIY, Mom, if you're watching. Okay, so one thing I remember about Halloween, I know I'm supposed to rank the pictures. I'm gonna do a mega ranking at the end. I'm just gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about the pictures. Tell you any funny stories that pop into my head, and then I will do a big ranking, a very quick ranking at the end. So I was like 5 or 6. This is one of the first Halloweens I can remember, and again, cold. Minnesota, it's very cold. Love a Minnesota Halloween though. Like, something about it is so exhilarating. It's freezing and you're just running, and then you get really hot and you get all the candy, and like, you know, you're with your friends. Like, how many houses can we hit? We used to like beg our mom to go early, and she would say it has to get dark. You cannot go unless it gets dark, and that was like 5:30 or 6. It was so hard. So when you look at this picture and, you know, this video, I'll kind of put them on a loop. That's kind of going through my mind as my mom is videotaping me. My mom used to decorate the house very orange. I mean, Tigger is orange. You can see the doorbell is glowing orange unintentionally, and there's like lights. We used to have pumpkin lights that would hang up, and there's even a pumpkin on the ground there too. So, I don't know if Halloween was an actual holiday. It might be my favorite. But I think I might do a whole video on ranking my favorite holidays. So it's technically not a holiday, guys, so I'm sorry. Yeah, but there's not really much else to say. My sister was the princess from Hunchback of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame. That Disney movie with, you know, Hunchback. Yeah, just good memories. I think we still had this somewhere, so that's all I have to say about this one. Adorable. Yeah, just really cute. The next one is kind of a, how do I even begin to talk about this? It's like a 4-part project in one. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a 4-part project in one. I'm gonna show you the one person that was kind of the main event, and then I will show you the group photo. So I was Gene Simmons in 2020 or 2021. Gene Simmons was a singer, or was or is, however you want to look at it. I'm sure some older folks might correct me on that, which is fine. But Gene Simmons is a singer, guitarist. I think he plays guitar, I'm pretty sure, but it's been a while. Like, when I dress up, I tend to like research and look at the people, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't remember if he sings or plays guitar or both. I apologize. I'm sorry, Gene Simmons, but that was not important for this, because I just was trying to look kind of like him. Now, this was 2020, 2021, like I said, and I was not going anywhere, so for all these costumes, this is so funny, because like, you'll see as a kid, you know, in the last photo, I was going out. Oh my gosh, I was going out. In the Tigger costume, I went out like I had never gone out before, and I may never go out like that again. Anyway, so I was going out as Tigger, and I was going out as the Mummy. I knew that I could do this because I was going nowhere. We were going nowhere. It was not smart at that time to go be around a bunch of people, even though that's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, like, you know, that's what I want to do, but I can't go do it because of, you know, obvious things that were happening at that time. So I went crazy. I got 2 wigs. I double stacked them. I teased them out. I never teased hair before, obviously. Like, I'm not gonna wrap my hair out. I learned learned how to do the makeup, I just threw on what I had. I think I ordered platform shoes for Gene Simmons, and it turned out great. I'm still really proud of this because, it's kind of a lot. Like, I'm showing you this and I'm totally comfortable with it, but if you go to work and you show somebody that you dressed up like Gene Simmons and you dressed up like all four members, well, three members and Gene Simmons, all four members of Kiss, there you go. You show people that at work, they're kind of like, okay, like you're not just like a regular Halloween participant, like you're really going for it. And so I went for it because I had nowhere to go and I had the time and the resources to kind of plan it out. It was more just for social media, which is too bad. I would have loved to have gone out and shown people and like taken pictures and just had fun. But it was a lot of fun. People were shocked when I showed them, and I'm gonna pull up the group photo really quick. So hold on 1 second. It's so funny. I really wanted to do this in chronological order, but just a heads up, if you get a suit, you might not be able to use your phone or your computer for the time being. You have to warm it up so that your phone or computer, like the touchpad actually works. Back to the video. So I have pulled up the group photo 1, 2, 3, 4 of the four members of Kiss. I don't even know if they have an album cover that looks like that. I just wanted to show all four members, and do not even ask me their names because I forgot when I did this, guys, because we were so antisocial and isolated. I spent so much time researching them. I actually bought one of their albums a year or two before I even did this look. I was listening to their greatest hits in my car, and so I knew their music, and I'm pretty sure my dad used to play some of their music growing up too. But I don't remember any of it now. I did this look, and then I was so sick of Kiss, I kind of just dropped all that knowledge. The look itself, guys, sorry, I'm just these memories are kind of hitting me in a good way, but this one was so wild. I don't think I did all of them in a weekend. I remember my parents were gone and I was dog sitting or just crashing at their house. I think I was dog sitting. I kind of just went for it. They were gone for an extended weekend, and I had, 2 wigs and a dream. And I had some white face paint and I had some black face paint, and we made it work. If you want to do this as a look, I mean, I practiced no, that's a lie. I only practiced the Gene Simmons one once, and the other ones, that was my first time doing it. Yeah, that's what it was. That was my first time doing it for all of them. Gene Simmons was tricky with the ankles, and I still didn't even get it right. When you do Halloween costumes, you have to pick if you want to look like the person or if you want to look like you as the person. I kind of go back and forth, honestly. Anyway, so lots of fun memories with that one. To end the story, though, I was dressed as the picture when I went over to my parents' house, so I had nowhere to go. It was a school night. I just showed up to my parents' house dressed as Gene Simmons, and they thought it was hilarious. My parents are really good sports with Halloween stuff, so they never get freaked out. They've just accepted that I'm just kind of crazy. I'm just a crazy adult. I wasn't going to mention this, but I feel as an adult, I'm an adult. As an adult, you get one. As an adult, you get one cringy thing to obsess over, right? Some people have taken the path of Disney adult. Some people might get super into a thing or a person. Then there are, the Teddy Talks, ASMRs of the world. I get very into Halloween because I think it's fun. I'm not knocking other people's hobbies or what they've chosen. I'm sitting here as a grown man dressed as Spider-Man, but I fully accept that this might be weird for some people to go so hard for Halloween, and that's why I really appreciate my parents just accepting what it is, right? They've just accepted what it is, so that's cool. But yeah, I went over as Gene Simmons. I remember my parents took some of the pictures of me dressed as Gene Simmons. I may include more than one. And yeah, it was great. So if anything, I'm just glad that my parents got to see it. They were asking me questions about everything. And the best part is those platform shoes. I'll put the picture back up, but I wear those a lot. They're great for concerts. They're super, comfy, and they give me, an extra foot of height, which is super sick. So, a lot of good things to come out of this one. Alright, so we are back in college. I think this was earlier than the Mummy. This time I did go out, and I was not working. I was not a child. I was actually going to a Halloween party. I am dressed as Bert. I was like Bert or Ernie, Bert or Ernie. I was dressed as Bert from Sesame Street, and I'll include a couple different pictures. Not my best makeup. I tried. Still very funny. I'm completely yellow. I have no idea how I did that. It's still funny. I remember going to Goodwill and finding that shirt and looking up pictures of Bert beforehand. So when I found that shirt, I was like, oh, Bert would wear this, right? Some people didn't know what I was, and I was so confused because I felt like I looked like Bert. I'm yellow with an orange nose. Who else could I be? Yeah. So, honestly, I don't remember anything crazy happening that night. It wasn't really a crazy night or anything. It was fun, but yeah, again, dressing up and getting ready, sometimes doing that for Halloween is more fun than going out, and I think that I had more fun getting dressed up this night. So not a bad costume, just it could have been improved and it served its purpose. You know that I definitely was doing more than a lot of the other college-aged people that I was around, so yeah. Okay, so next up is Spock from Star Trek. My mom is very into Star Trek, as well as a lot of people that I know, people that I know that are older than me, really like Star Trek. So I don't know why I chose this. I think I just selected it off of my little roster, my roster of people that I could be. I have a very loose running list of people I could be, and as movies and TV shows and pop culture things happen, that list gets longer and longer. It gets longer. Anyway, so I dress up as Spock. This is 2022. I had to look at the date on the photo, and I did actually cut my hair to look like that. I did not go out like this. I just, when I did the Kiss look, that was just because I really wanted to dress up. I'm gonna be honest, this was more for social media, and that's why I kind of hate the look now, because it wasn't really something that I was being earnest about. I was like, I'm gonna dress up as Spock and everyone's gonna love it, and I'm gonna put stickers of Star Trek and it'll be so fun, and it kind of made me hate it. And then when I posted it, I just didn't feel anything, and I was like, why? So this was important because after that, I truly stopped caring. Like, you know, don't dress up as a person because you want to post it on social media or, like, you know, in a costume. Do it for a reason, like, just because you want to, you know. I actually think that in this specific photo, I do look like Spock. Like, I do look like the man. But this is one where I want to go back and recreate it. I think I can do a better job, and I would love to go out and actually get the costume because I ordered the shirt because I knew that I wasn't gonna go out. So, like, it's whatever. Like, that's my honest feeling about it. It's fine. I don't know. It's just not my favorite because I just did it for social media, and that kind of feels like dumb. It's 2025 right now, so that was 3 years ago. And yeah, like I said, you'll have to stick around and see what I do this year. Speaking of posting for socials, like, of course I'm gonna dress up and do something for this channel. I already did, but that's different. I'm so excited because, like, you're supposed to do that if you have a YouTube channel and you make ASMR. Like, you need to do something crazy every once in a while, like dressing up as. Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna spoil it if I keep talking. So, stick around for the final ranking. We have a couple more photos to get through, but you will see this photo again at the end of the video. Alright, so what's really funny about doing this out of order is I just talked about posting social media because I was trying to, like, do something. This costume, guys, was not for social media. I don't think I ever posted this, which is so funny that I'm showing you right now. But I lived 1,000 lives in this costume. Okay, I'm having a lot of fun filming this, so I'm just gonna, I know I'm probably making weird noises and stuff, but whatever. Okay, so let me catch my breath. I was the Joker. I was a Jared Leto. I almost said Jared Letter. Jay Leno. No. A Jared Leto Joker. That's not a tongue twister. Why am I acting like that was hard to say? So, this costume, I dressed up twice. One night and then the next night, which is so funny. One of my friends did all the tattoos, the Joker tattoos, and I don't even remember what she was doing because I literally just went to her apartment. She painted me, you know, the tattoos, and then I just left. Like, I didn't even invite her because I think she was doing something else or she didn't want to go out. But I went to a friend's house and we spent the whole night at my friend's house. He had a party. It was really fun. Again, a Halloween party. You'll see in the picture on my arm, my friend did that tattoo, which is so sick, out of, like, really crappy paints. Yeah, I bought black eyeshadow for that Joker Halloween costume, and it lasted forever. I think I still have it somewhere. I have green in my hair. I actually DJ'd at the party that I went to as the Joker. I will try to include a picture, but there was a girl there dressed as Harley Quinn. I don't think it was the year that everybody did Harley Quinn, because this was, like, after that. This might have been 2016, I think. I don't know. Yeah, so obviously good memories with this one. It's just funny because I did it two nights in a row, and my friend did the tattoos like night 1, night 2, and yeah, good times. So next photo, next costume. I was a construction worker in college. I'm posing with two friends. The girl on the left is Winnie the Pooh, and the girl on the right is Tigger, which is funny because we already saw when I did Tigger earlier in the video. This was the year where, like, a lot was happening and I just didn't have time. is cropped. I cut my legs out because I had like jean shorts on, and I cut them off of my body, so when I put them on, they were way too short. And I felt really awkward, and there was no time to change. So I was like, well, I might have cut them at the house that I was at, because we were at my friend's house just like hanging out. So yeah, that vest, very funny. I was at work again, doing the same job, working with those kids, and we were out picking up trash with the Boy Scouts. I was there because I was working, and I remember we had to wear the vests and give them back, and I did not give mine back. I took it with me, and I used it for this look. So it was very just thrown together last minute. That's the funny thing about being like a construction worker is, it's pretty easy to throw together, and you're going to be safe if you have a vest on. So, in hindsight, I was just being safe, but yeah. All right, next costume. All right, so this costume, I was a vampire. I was Dracula, whatever you want to call it. This was right before that situation. It was 2019. It was the last normal Halloween that we had. And, yeah, so I went to a Halloween party with my sister's friend. And this was not a normal Halloween party. These people in the city transformed their house into a crazy haunted house that was 3 levels, and you could go to different floors, and like the basement was a dance floor. I think the outside, or like the middle, like where you enter, it was like a haunted house, and then there was like food and drinks at the top. It was insane. I think I went once or twice. And so this year I was like, I'm gonna keep it chill, right? I've gone big, but I don't know, like this party sounds really cool, like no one's gonna be dressed up. Got to the party, it was some of the craziest, most well put together costumes I've ever seen in my life. I felt really inadequate, and I felt like I needed to step it up. Even though I do like the look, it was my first time kind of playing around with like fake blood. I had so much fun. I was cutting up at that party, like giving people compliments. People were complimenting me. I was like, no, like this is basic compared to what I'm seeing, and took a lot of pictures. It was very fun. I think the friend that I went with, my sister's friend, was like Curious George or something, or she was a monkey, and her boyfriend was either like the guy in the yellow jacket or he was Gene Simmons. No, wait, I think she was a monkey, her boyfriend was the guy in the yellow hat, and then their friend was Gene Simmons, and I think that's where I got the idea to kind of like do that later on. I was like, wait, I'm not going to do that now. I'll do that later, and I should look into that. So, good memories. Not bad. It was fun. So, this one is tragic, and not because it's bad. It's because I never got to wear it out. It was going to be so funny, and I told people about it. It never saw the light of day, so you are the first people to see it, which is crazy. So, have you ever seen the movie Coraline? Some great costume ideas in that movie. I wanted to be Mr. Bobinski. Mr. Bobinski, I think that's how you say it. I was going to be Mr. Bobinski because I'm very athletic, and I'm always like, I'm tumbling or cartwheeling or like whatever, or I used to be. I don't know. I'm not doing that like now, but I used to, back in the day, for whatever reason. So I was like, oh, I'm athletic like Mr. Bobinski. I'm gonna be him. Guys, that thing in 2020 messed it up. I was gonna host a Halloween party, and I was gonna be Mr. Bobinski, and it just never happened. So this was me getting ready, and I Snapchatted all my friends this picture with no context, and they loved it. They were like, "That's great. That's amazing." I had a whole costume planned out because this costume is really easy, but it never saw the light of day, and I might have to bring it back for the channel, just not this year. So let me get it together, because I actually threw away the costume a little bit ago. I held on to the Mr. Bobinski costume for so long. Now the actual look is very funny. If you know Mr. Bobinski, he's not really in the movie that much. So, Mr. Bobinski, R.I.P. to you, and we might see you again. I'm actually like he's dead. The Mr. Bobinski costume, we will see you again at some point. So, let's go on to the next one. Guys, we are on the very last picture. Before I go over the last picture, we are going to just talk about how there's so many more costumes that I could have shown you, but I don't have them all saved. So if I find more pictures and there are enough for a video, I will make it. Some very quick honorable mentions that I don't have pictures for. When I was in 3rd or 4th grade, I dressed up as a pirate gorilla, or a gorilla pirate, however you want to say it. That was very funny, and I wish I had a picture of it. Also, when I was in 7th or 8th grade, it was my very last time going trick-or-treating, and I dressed up as Jason from Friday the 13th, I think is the movie. And I thought that if people didn't see my face, they wouldn't question me, but I hit a growth spurt, and I was so tall. People were like, "Aren't you a little old to be trick-or-treating?" Not everybody, but a couple people. And I said, "Please, it's my last year. I'm in 8th grade, and after this, I'm done." Honestly, though, who cares? I think that there are worse things that people could be doing than trick-or-treating. And somebody made a good point when I had this conversation with them a little while ago, that there are adults with special needs that might want to go trick-or-treating, and like, that's fine. Like, are you really that miserable that you can't just give some candy, or like one piece of candy, to a person? I don't know. Fight me, I guess. Well, wait, I said I would stop saying that. Sue me if, that's offensive to you, but that's just what I think. Okay, so, I mentioned that if I find enough pictures of old costumes, I will make another video. I have mentioned some honorable mentions, so let's go to the last picture. Okay, so final costume that I have. Just want to say thank you again for joining me tonight, and if you've made it this far, you're awesome. Thank you. This one is a little scary, so just going to warn you, like, there is some like ripped tissue and some BLOOD. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is more recent. I think this is from 2 years ago, 2023. Where I live, there's an event where everybody goes out dressed as zombies. And so I went dressed as a zombie. This is when I got into making prosthetics with liquid latex and paper. And so those safety pins in my face are not in my skin. They're not in my skin at all. Not in my skin. They are in the paper. And, I just put in fake blood that kind of ran down. I have contacts in. I'll also include the picture I took with my friend. And I'm wearing a Britney Spears shirt. And I just thought that would be really funny because I looked like that. And then there's Britney Spears. So, I don't know. But I really like the look. It's scary. A lot of people complimented me when I wore this out. People I didn't know were like, "How did you do that?" Like, what? And it was really fun. So, not much else to say for that one, other than it'll be really hard to top in the future if I ever go back to that event. And I'm not sure if I'll dress super crazy like that on the channel because I don't want to scare anybody. But, yeah, I think it's time to go to the final ranking, and I will be right back. So I'm going to post a ranked picture of all the looks. I'm gonna do A, B, C, D, F tier. I'm gonna grade them, and I'll do a little voiceover with this same microphone, and I will let you know what are my favorites and what are my least favorites of the bunch. So, yeah, roll the tape. The final ranking has arrived. We are using a B, C, D, F tiered grading system. In the A tier, we have Gene Simmons and Kiss, Tigger, The Mummy, and The Joker. In the B tier, we have The Zombie and Dracula/Vampire. In the C tier, we have Mr. Bobinski, aka the costume that never was. In the D tier, we have Bert, and in the F tier, we have Spock and a construction worker. So I will be going from the F tier up to the A tier. I will announce the winner, and then we'll have the outro of the video. So you will see me in my Spider-Man costume once more before the video ends. Alright, so to quickly say why each one made it into each tier. Spock, I already rambled about the social media aspect of it, and I just did it for social media, so it just wasn't that fun. To be honest, it was not as much fun as the others. The construction worker was basic, sadly, and I don't really do basic, so it just wasn't the greatest for me or really for anybody. Construction worker is kind of played out at this point. In the D tier, we have Bert, and it was okay, but the makeup was kind of crunchy, and you couldn't quite tell what I was without me kind of referencing it. At least in real life, people couldn't tell what I was, so it could be better and improved upon. In the C tier, we have Mr. Bobinski, and this one slightly, and I really do mean slightly, beat out Bert. It got an extra point because at least the makeup you could kind of tell who I was, and it just was a little bit better than Bert in terms of the makeup. It didn't really make it any further though as far as competing with the others because it never happened. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the video, but I actually ended up getting sick, and the Halloween party I was going to host was canceled. So nobody ever got to see Mr. Bobinski. If I didn't add that context, you get to know that now because you stuck around to the end of the video. So that one is in the C tier. Above that, we have the B tier. We have the zombie look and the vampire/Dracula look. Zombie gets points because it was cool. It was a little more gruesome, and the safety pins were really effective and moved with my mouth when I was talking, but also I could eat and drink stuff, and it was not affected, and it stayed on the whole night. Extra points for the Britney shirt too. It's funny that like the bloody ones are like together in the B tier, and none of the others, as far as I can tell, are bloody. The vampire look was a lot of fun, good memories in that look. I pulled it out, and yeah, I mean, the bow tie is cool. I kind of look like a server if a vampire was a server at a restaurant. I'm just not realizing that. Drum roll, very quiet for the A tier. So, Gene Simmons and Kiss, it was really fun. It was easy to do that for social media, but I really didn't do it for that. Like, obviously the only way to show all four looks was to edit them together. I should say all four people. And because the pandemic was at its height at that time, it was just kind of perfect. The Spock look, not to go jump down tiers, between A and F, but I'm pretty sure that I could go out. I honestly have no idea what I was thinking with the Spock look, and I have no idea. But, the Gene Simmons and Kiss costume, it worked in person. It was fun to post online because I was all 4 people I had the time, and it was a lot of fun. And I told that story about going over to my parents' house. I really kind of just did it for them too, because like, who else was going to be around at that time? Next is Tigger, just adorable, honestly. There's a whole video of me like trick-or-treating in that costume. My mom did the makeup, and I love the juxtaposition between all the other costumes in this one, but honestly, my mom gets credit for actually getting and making the costume, so she's the reason I'm in the A tier. She's the reason I'm so into Halloween. The mummy look, so I talked about that earlier in the video, about that funny story when I was trick-or-treating, and yeah, it was scary, it's cool, it's very avant-garde. I didn't say it earlier, but I really would have loved to, like, I would have wanted to expand it if I had more time. I had to get going to go to work. Obviously, I didn't have all the time in the world. And after I took it off, I did not mention this earlier, but I didn't do it again because it hurt to tear everything off, and I ripped hair out of my face and my beard and all that. So maybe in the future I've thought about doing it again, but it's just so time consuming because that was so many layers of paper and liquid latex. So probably will not be pursuing that costume again, and that's why, for the effort and the pain I went through and that funny story, it's in the A tier. Last, before we talk about the winner, the Joker. Fun costume, just a fun time DJing in that, I would say costume, but really just the makeup is like the costume. But DJing, looking like that, running into somebody at this Halloween party that was Harley Quinn was really fun. And again, shout out to my friend for popping off with the tattoos. She was really amazing for that, and I should hit her up and thank her again for that, honestly, even though that picture is so many years old at this point. All right, that is the drum roll for the final winner. Like, which one trumps all? And I am pleased to inform you that the winner is a tie between 2 of the A-tiered costumes. I have decided that I cannot decide between Kiss and Gene Simmons as one winner, because that is kind of a costume I did, and Tigger. So I am torn between Gene Simmons and Kiss as a group, you know, one winner, group project kind of winner, and then Tigger. Completely different, so funny, like next to each other. That's it. That's the video. So Gene Simmons and Kiss have taken first place. Tigger has taken the other first place. And together they have won this crazy, chaotic, fun Halloween costume ranking video. Okay, do you know what time it is? It is time for Peter Parker. Just kidding. It's time for me to head out. It's time for me to head out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a very long video, so I hope that you enjoyed this Halloween video, this Halloween ramble, this very festive video ranking my costumes. And you know what? Do you want a Peter Parker roleplay?